Alright guys, just finished up watching The Great Wall, so my quick thoughts. This film was pretty much exactly what I expected it to be. It's a popcorn film. It's cheesy, it's ridiculous, it's over the top, full of one-liners and a boatload of action all throughout the movie. So, for the most part, this movie did live up to what I expected it to be, and for the most part, I did enjoy it. I think what I liked most about the film was the idea of why the Great Wall was built in the first place. Not to keep out human invaders like the Mongolians, but instead to keep out this horde of dragon-like creatures that attack China every so often. Apparently, a long time ago, they attacked. They knew they'd attack again eventually, so they've been spending all this time building this great wall to keep them out, full of all kinds of booby traps and weapons and whatnot, and building up this huge, gigantic army to defeat this horde of dragon-like creatures that are going to attack and decimate China once again. I like that. That's a very interesting and unique idea as to why the Great Wall was built. I think that really lent itself to some really good ideas. Were they necessarily executed all that well in this movie? Maybe not. Again, it's just a popcorn film. They could have maybe gone more into depth or built it up a little bit more, but still, it worked and it was fun. I love all the weapons and stuff that are built into the wall. That was really cool. I love the army. Oh my gosh, those were probably my favorite. They all have like different colored teams, and each colored team has like its own little thing it does in the army. Like the women, they're all dressed in blue, which I think it's really cool. There are women in this army. They're all dressed in blue, and their job is to basically jump off the wall with these ropes attached to their back, and they dive down, kind of like bungee cording almost. They dive down with these spears and jab the creatures and then get hoisted back up. That's pretty cool. And again, everybody has their own little tasks, and they're all wearing this really cool, like, different colored armor. Those guys were pretty neat. I did enjoy that. One downfall I would say is the CG. It looked very CG. Now, again, I am watching this in 4K, so maybe if you're watching it at a lower resolution, it won't look so bad. But in 4K, the CG looked very CG. It looked like, I wouldn't say low budget, but not high budget either. Like kind of mid-range CG, and when they're like panning up on on the wall or panning up at, people fighting or something, like it looked very CG at times, and because of that, it took me out of the film here and there, so I didn't like that too much. But again, for the most part, it was a fun movie. Again, it's just full of action and cheesiness and ridiculousness, and for that, it was somewhat enjoyable. The idea is that Matt Damon and Pedro Pascal, they are like these kind of like marauders. They steal, they kill, they do bad things, and they're looking for black powder, which is why they come to China. They end up getting captured, and they end up getting roped into this whole craziness that's going on, because they get captured right as this horde of dragon creatures are attacking the wall. And Pedro Pascal, he just wants to get away. He wants to steal some black powder and get on the run, get away from what's going on. But as the movie goes on, Matt Damon, of course, he kind of starts sort of falling for one of the main, like, women of the movie. And the whole thing is trust. That's the thing they're trying to hammer home in this movie. You gotta have trust. And of course, Matt Damon's like, I don't trust anybody. I've gotten through my whole life alive because I haven't trusted anybody. But he, of course, learns to trust. It's a little cheesy, so he ends up basically wanting to stay behind and continue the fight. He wants to help these people fight, whereas Pedro wants to just get away. They end up meeting up with William Dafoe, who's also been captured. He was apparently captured a long time ago, and once they're captured, they don't really want to let anybody leave because there's all these secrets of black powder and stuff, and they don't want that getting out, so they basically either kill you or just keep you captured. So William Dafoe's been around for a while. He also wants to leave and escape with some black powder, so him and Pedro are kind of teaming up, and again, Matt Damon's kind of in on the idea at first of escaping, but then sort of decides, nah, I'm just going to stick around and help fight, and that kind of causes a rift between all of them as well. So, yeah, it's a little cheesy, but again, it is kind of fun. The action scenes are great. I loved it for that. When the dragon creatures are attacking and the army's battling them, and they're getting their butt kicked for the most part. It's pretty fun. But the main downfall of this movie was, in my opinion, how anticlimactic it was at the end. I felt very much like nothing really happened at the end of the movie. Yes, and spoiler alert here, so I'm warning you, they defeat this horde of dragon creatures. They do defeat them, but even that kind of felt anticlimactic. Yes, they're going up this big tower, and Matt Damon's firing off these arrows and trying to get to the queen and whatnot, and the other dragon creatures are blocking the queen, and he just gets that shot in right at the last second. He sneaks it in, and right before the creatures get to them, and okay, yeah, but you know, it was very cliche, and it just kind of felt like it just sort of happened. It wasn't really built up enough, in my opinion. But I guess that was okay. But really, when it comes down to it, it's that I felt like nothing happened to anybody really at the ends of the movie. There's this character throughout the film who he's he's in the army, and he keeps like messing stuff up, and they keep making him go and like scrub pans and stuff in the kitchen. And Matt Damon's like, you're stronger and better and smarter than they think you are. And he's this character who they're trying to like build up as this like weakling, this kind of ridiculous character who's gonna, you know, show his strength in the end. And he does by basically, again, spoiler here, by killing himself to help save Matt Damon and his crew. So, okay, but it just feels like it just kind of happens. Like, they didn't really build that character up enough. And then at the end of the film, like, Matt Damon doesn't even really get his girl. You can tell they kind of like each other, but him and Pedro just ride off into the sunset. And by the way, Pedro and William Dafoe, they escape at one point. William Dafoe apparently gets killed, and Pedro Pascal, he gets captured, and Matt Damon just decides to, instead of, like, taking black powder and going off his own way, letting, you know, Pedro get killed, he decides to take Pedro instead with them, and they just go riding off into the sunset. And it's like, what? Like, it just doesn't really seem to amount to anything at the end. It's like, all right, they defeated this horde, but, like, I don't know. I just felt like very meh at the end of the film. Like, nothing really happened to anybody. Like, I just felt like, okay, like, everybody just kind of went their separate ways, and just, all right, like, what? I expected more from the ending of the film. That was my main downfall with the film. I just kind of felt like the ending was extremely anticlimactic. We go through this whole battle, all this stuff happens, and then it's just like everybody just kind of goes their separate ways. Like, all right. So it just didn't really amount to anything at the end, in my opinion. But otherwise, it's a fun movie. I mean, going into this one, you should expect it to be what it is, a popcorn film. Do not be expecting anything great or amazing or above and beyond. Don't expect this amazing story. Don't expect anything to go in depth. It's just a popcorn film. There's dragon creatures. They gotta fight them. Matt Damon gets roped into this whole thing. He's helping fight him as well. It's cheesy with him, you know, learning trust, and that character who they're trying to build up as this weakling who's going to be strong in the end and show his strength at the end of the movie. You know, it's full of just cliches one after another. It's a popcorn film. So for the most part, I enjoyed it. Going into this knowing it's a popcorn film, going into this not expecting very much out of it because it's a popcorn film, made me enjoy it. I took it for what it was, and as such, it was a fun movie. The ending could have been better. That, in my opinion, is the only thing that really would have made this movie stronger. Was if I felt more closure at the end of the film, instead of everybody just kind of going their separate ways and nothing really happening at the end of the movie. I would have felt more. I would have enjoyed the movie a bit more, but still, for the most part, it was enjoyable. So, The Great Wall. When I say check it out, if you like popcorn films, if you like Roland Emmerich movies, if those are your type of things, then yes, check out The Great Wall. If you like popcorn films. If that's not your thing, if you don't like them cheesy, if you don't like them kind of pointless and dumb and stupid, and just here for you to have a fun time, then it's not going to be your thing. But otherwise, it is one worth checking out. A lot of you guys said you really like this movie, so I guess a lot of you guys are into popcorn films. I think that's pretty awesome. So again, if that seems like your type of thing, check the movie out. Even though the ending was a little anticlimactic, it is still a fun watch. And again, I love the idea of the Great Wall being built to keep out this horde of dragon-like creatures that attack China every so often. That, in my opinion, is, again, really interesting and kind of what makes this movie in a bit shine. That is just a really, really cool idea. I hope someday maybe there's another movie that like expands on that more. That'd be really cool. So all in all, The Great Wall, pretty decent, nothing too amazing. It's a popcorn film. It is what it is. I'd say see it if it seems like your type of thing. Oh yeah, there's actually one more thing I almost forgot to mention that I really want to talk about, and that is magnets. So at the very beginning of the movie, they, in a completely just throwaway line, explain why Matt Damon is carrying around this magnetic rock. The line is completely just shoehorned in there. Again, it's extremely throwaway. If you're not paying attention, you're gonna miss it, but it very sort of briefly, just and very cheesily explains why Matt Damon has this rock with him. So, alright, so the movie goes on, the battle ensues, and they come to find out that this magnetic rock can actually sedate these dragon creatures. So, aha, this is it. This is our key. This is what we will use to defeat these creatures. So what do? Do they go out and mine more rocks? Do they got a bunch in back or something like that? No, they end up capturing a dragon, sending the dragon and the rock off to the Emperor to show what this rock can do, and they're building it up, and magnets are the answers. This is what we're going to do. These magnetic rocks will help to defeat these creatures. And at the very end, it hardly comes into play at all. In fact, at the very end, you're kind of even forgetting that this magnet was even talked about. So, yes, at the very end of the movie, the magnetic rock, that one rock throughout the whole film, they don't get more, just that one rock, does help Matt Damon get that arrow into the Queen. So, okay, the magnet does come into play. But for something that is so built up, for something they're talking about so much, for that one thing that can help defeat these creatures and help win this battle, it barely comes into play at the very end of the movie. So, like I said, very anticlimactic ending, but still a fun movie.